Well, good morning, everybody. Sorry, Ashley Jean, I didn't mean to scare you. Wow. Just look around you, folks. You are looking at the realization of a dream. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Music City Roots, the Roots Barn. You are going to see so much great talent in this place, not only for Music City Roots, but a lot of other events. And we're proud to be right here in Madison, Tennessee. You know, when we came out for the groundbreaking, we were talking about the country music history in this town, and a lot of times it's overlooked. You know, you look at, well, the Stars lived in Brentwood and the Stars lived here and there, but you know what? A lot of the Stars first lived in Madison, Tennessee. Yeah. You go over to Hank Snow's place. I used to, when I first came to Nashville, all I wanted to do was go out and drive by Hank Snow's place. I didn't know the man at the time. Later we became friends. Got a lot of good Hank Snow stories I can't tell in public, but he, and of course now that's a bed and breakfast, and they have events out there, and it's a wonderful thing. Patsy Cline lived just down the road from Hank Snow. They bought that house because it was close to Hank Snow's. Gentleman Jim Reeves, one of the greatest songwriters or singers that ever lived in Madison. I could go on and on and on. Kitty Wells, Johnny Wright. This place has so much history. So when we talk about roots, we are really returning to the roots of Nashville. And we're so excited about it. We got some great entertainment for you tonight. We've got some special guests we're going to present. But right now, I want to present the fella that really, he's the man. He's the man with the plan. He has been with Music City Roots from the very inception. It came up in his little mind. I can't believe it. I've known John a long time. I didn't know he could think that deeply. No, I'm kidding. Would you welcome my friend, Mr. John Walker?
Hey, y'all, I just orchestrated that because you haven't made it in this business unless you've been introduced by Keith Bilbrey. So, you know, now I feel like my life is fairly complete. Before I start, we're waiting for a couple of our guests to come up on the stage, so I've just now put Jim Lauderdale on the spot to maybe sing a quick tune, if that would be all right with you. Jim? He might have written a song or two.
Well, I haven't had such a wholesome introduction like that since JFK thanked Marilyn Monroe for the birthday. Well, you know, this is going to be a tabernacle of roots music here, and it's so incredible. And this is a song I wrote for Dr. Ralph Stanley to sing, and I wish he's going to be singing here in spirit through the years. I've had my share of darkness and I'm headed for the light. Melody will tell me that it's going to be all right. I'm laying down my burden and breaking off the chains. Come along and join me if you feel like singing today. I feel like singing today. I feel like singing today. Lifting up my voice to say I feel like singing today. I feel like singing today. I feel like singing today. Lifting up my voice in praise. I feel like singing today. I want to tell a message and I want to tell it now. I'm busting out with good news and I've got to let it out. The chorus does remind me of some friends along the way. Come along and join me if you feel like singing today. I feel like singing today. I feel like singing today. Lifting up my voice to say I feel like singing today. I feel like singing today. I feel like singing today. Lifting up my voice in praise, I feel like singing today. Lifting up my voice in praise, I feel like singing today. Thank you. Thanks, John.
I love you, man. Mayor Cooper, Representatives Dixie and Beck, and guests and friends, it's a great honor, a little bit surreal, for me to be standing here under these amazing timbers today. A little over 20 years ago, I came here from Detroit, absolutely fell in love with Nashville. I was lucky enough to be schooled in the rich legacy of Music City by the late Buddy Killen and the Keepers of the Flame at WSM Radio. The first time I stepped onto that legendary circle on the Opry House stage, it washed over me. I was standing in an unbroken circle that represented the soul of Nashville. Motown had a list of artists of its own that need no last name: Aretha, Stevie, Marvin, Smokey, Diana, Michael, countless others. They became my heroes. They touched the world when they couldn't even share a drinking fountain in certain parts of the country. As I stood in that Opry circle, I realized that Hank, Loretta, Elvis, Dee Ford, Patsy, and of course Johnny and many others had also touched the world with country music and drew people through the power of radio to this town. It didn't take me long to realize there was a whole new and diverse musical movement developing that would spark the next generation of one-name wonders. And I decided that we needed to shine a global light on that movement of true artists that would create the story of Music City for the next generation. Americana music, roots music, to us these are not genres, but rather music derived from the melting pot of cultures that defines America: Europe, Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, Latin America. As my friend Todd Mayo is fond of saying, our greatest exports as a country are music and food, and the ingredients for both come from every culture of the world. In a world divided, music unites. It surpasses intellect, and even language, and touches the soul. In times of joy or sorrow, music comforts us. To quote Jim Lauderdale, now that's Americana. Next to love itself, I believe the greatest gift God has ever given us is creativity. The Roots Barn is dedicated to the creative spirit and the beautiful and humble vessels that carry the gift and enrich our lives with it. We pledge to treat their art with the utmost care and respect. This barn is a manifestation of vision and a labor of love. And while I can't possibly thank everyone today that was a part of helping us get to this point, I couldn't possibly think of standing here without thanking our team. They've kept the faith through thick and thin, money and no money, always believing in the mission. I love you all deeply. You each fell from heaven, one after the other, to lend your talents to this dream. And to our partners that are here today, and senior investors, Duncan, Fred, and Patrick Kennedy, and their wives, Catherine, Margie, and Jamie, for believing with us and locking arms with us to build this musical sanctuary. At this point, I thought maybe I'd share a prayer of dedication, but I had a better idea. As we celebrate the forever home of Music City Roots, we also announce the start of a new tradition, Sunday Soul, hosted by the McCrary sisters. Woo! That show represents the next 100 years of a Nashville legacy started by their father and the Fairfield Four in 1921. And so, right now, please welcome the McCrary sisters.
While they're coming to the mic, I just want to take an opportunity and ask God to bless this place. The walls that are going to go up, the roof, the ceiling, the chairs, everything, every construction worker that's going to touch this building to add a piece of wood or a brick here or whatever they're going to lay, I'm asking God to anoint them and bless them. every person that walks inside of this building, inside of this place, I ask that they leave out happier and richer than what they were in spirit before they walked in. This is our prayer, the McCrary Sisters' prayer for this place on this day at this time. And we just want to seal it with Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I
Any questions? There's a saying that's well known in this town, even as many great musicians are here, don't ever follow the McCrary Sisters. but I'd like to introduce a woman who can, and she needs no introduction to most of you here. She's been an absolute champion for this district in Metro Nashville and a driving force in bringing this long envisioned project of Madison Station Boulevard and all that entails to fruition. And now I'm also thrilled to call her Vice President of Business Development and Community Affairs for Roots Productions. Please welcome the Honorable Councilperson for Nashville District 8, my friend, Nancy Van Rees.
Wow. Great. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. I want to also acknowledge the family of the late Kitty Wells and Johnny Wright, the Sturdivant family. Thank you for coming here today. We appreciate you being here. A friend of mine, Sam Davidson, sent a tweet this morning, and I tend to get his tweets. I don't know what's wrong with me, but he said something that really struck to me, and I wanted to add it to the conversation today. A team is a group of people with a common goal. A community is a group of people with a common purpose. That's the team that I've just joined, and I'm so proud to be part of it. I want to offer some history and some acknowledgments this morning. These acknowledgments recognize that when we use the language of history, we are not only speaking of our past, but also to the relevance of our present and our future conditions. The Roots Barn acknowledges that the land we are on today is the ancestral territory and vibrant hunting grounds of the Cherokee and Shawnee tribal nations. We recognize and respect Indigenous people as the traditional stewards of this land and continue today to contribute to the life of this city. We honor their stories, told and untold, and to the people of the past, present, and future who have greatly contributed to this land's sacredness. We also must take a moment to recognize the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this territory. Originally chartered as Madison Station, Tennessee, the community in northeastern Davidson County is now a suburb of Nashville. But Madison has a rich and fascinating history of her own. By 1830, 3 stagecoach lines were running out of town along Haysboro Road, now Gallatin Pike. As the town grew, Thomas Stratton family would have a son, Madison, who at the age of 21 would continue to expand his land holdings and become a leader in the community. Madison Stratton sold a portion of his land so that the state could build a railway line. It connected Bowling Green, Kentucky to Clarksville, Tennessee. The station was built and named Madison Station in honor of Madison Stratton. The station later was named Amqui Station. We also acknowledge the painful history experienced by Black people in our community and their significant contributions on and around this land. In particular, we recognize the humanity of enslaved Black people who built our city's economy. Additionally, we stand in close proximity of the rail lines. We honor the Black people who built the L&N Railroad. Lastly, though we are not on the original campus of Amqui Station, we stand with the original building and must acknowledge the many Black soldiers who fought for our country in World War II, yet were unable to enter the front door of the station. Next May 21st will be the 165th anniversary of the charter of the post office called Madison Station, 1857. In Dr. Guy Bachman's book, Using the 1880 Census, Madison is described as a community of farmers, laborers, people at home and keeping house, youngsters who were at school, a few tradesmen, a handful of professional people, a couple of hucksters, 3 fishermen, 1 steamboat pilot, and 1 banjo player. The population share of African Americans in Madison increased from 18% in the year 2000 to 30% in 2010. The Hispanic Latino population also saw an increase in its share of the population, rising from 5% in 2000 to 13% in 2010. We look forward to the new 2020 numbers. The rich diversity thrives in a creative community. We acknowledge that an act of recognition is not enough to overcome the history that has erased and displaced those who originally built and occupied this land. We are committed to the ongoing sharing of the accuracy of history and of this land and of this community in all roots music. As a result, you will experience a full spectrum of roots music at the Roots Barn. It will encompass the drum beat of the indigenous communities, the strumming of the banjo that originated on the continent of Africa, and the beautiful celebratory strings instruments of Latin communities. We also want to acknowledge the current vibrant Spanish-speaking community and culture here in Madison. También nos gustaría reconocer la vibrante la comunidad y cultura de hispanohablantes aquí en Madison. It is with great intention to ensure that the Roots Barn will be home to roots music, no matter what your roots are. I would like to give recognition to AT&T for their generosity towards 50 Forward and Discover Madison. Without their understanding of this project's benefit to the public, we would not be here today. Thank you, Albert Bender of the American Indian Coalition, for guidance on the land acknowledgement. Historians, nonprofit, and business partners include Studio Bank, historian Bridget Jones from the Tennessee State Museum and the Bellmead Plantation, the volunteer boards of directors of Discover Madison and 50 Forward, Finn Public Relations, and Kia Jarman of MEPR Public Relations. Also, our current and growing additional community partners, the Madison Rivergate Area Chamber of Commerce, the LGBT Chamber, the Nashville Chamber, the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corp, and the Arts and Business Council. Madison Station Boulevard, some of you got to drive down a little bit of it, is on the same schedule for Phase 1 to be complete this spring up to the fire hall, and the rest of the way to Old Hickory Boulevard by next summer, right? Faye says yes. Thank you, NDOT, for the sneak peek at this new road. We really appreciate it. 3 mayors in the last 6 years have shared in the vision of the Madison Renaissance. I am so very happy that Mayor John Cooper is here today to realize this legacy. Friends, please welcome Mayor John Cooper.
So, thank you. It's a great moment to be here. I'm grateful to Keith for giving me a word to describe Nancy Van Rees. Champion. Right. Champion. Champion for our community, champion for our city, champion for right here, unrelentingly for 6 years now, and it's a great achievement. I also want to thank Emily Benedict, who's a council person, who's our partner in making Nashville a city that works and also works for everybody. It's hard work. It takes a lot of hours, and I'm grateful, having done this myself. It's very hard to be a council person, and it's very hard to be a great council person. It's especially hard to be a champion, but you're seeing that here. Now, I'm grateful to be here because this is the very first barn raising I've been to as mayor. And this is a fabulous way to celebrate the next chapter of Music City Roots, and I want to thank our partners in the legislature, Representative Bill Beck and Vincent Dixie, and John Walker at Roots Productions, and Jed Hilly from the Americana Music Association, and all our friends at Music City Roots, and WMOT Radio. Yeah. I mean, radio, I don't know about all this media that we have now, but radio brought us together for a century, and has to be part of keeping us together. Now, 2020 was a tough year for Nashville, especially for our musicians and their fans. But now that didn't stop us from celebrating our city's rich, diverse musical heritage. During 2020, we opened the National Museum of African American Music downtown. I encourage you all to go. It is a beautiful, one-of-a-kind space in the heart of downtown Nashville. And a few months ago, I had the privilege of joining Jed and others for the 20th anniversary of the Americana Music Awards right here in Nashville, the place where it needs to be in this country. But now we're here to open the Roots Barn. Now this is the newest crown jewel in our live music industry. And that really, more than anything else, I think, is setting Nashville and its future apart, that we have more live music venues than any place in the United States. But right here, this barn is our public square. And it's where we're going to gather to share stories and celebrate our past and connect over real, authentic American music. Now, just as we look at this barn going up, aside from the Schermerhorn downtown, this is going to be the only venue in Nashville built specifically for the type of music played here. That's just a great achievement, and as these rafters go up, let us just think in the future of what they're going to be hearing. Now, roots music and live music made us a city where we are today. This is a cultural platform that we can use for opportunity and growth in our years ahead as Nashville becomes the most interesting and best city in the 21st century in America. But what do we have as our assets? Just think how cool this is. We have folk, gospel, blues, classic rock, and country and western, all that we can claim for our own. But roots music is the music of the people, and it's the music with a conscience, and it is the most honest sound in America today. And the truth, you know, Nashville is a place that celebrates truth in our words and in our actions. And that sound has a beautiful, brand new, forever home right here in the Roots Barn. And that, the fact that it is in one of the most historic sites in Davidson County, that it is fundamental to who we are, that it grew out of a train station and a post office built here in 1857, I can hear the lyrics already. But today we are laying new tracks to connect Nashville's past to our future as a world-class live music destination for us and tens of thousands of people to come and sit where you are seated in the future. Now, in 12 short years, Music City Roots has done so much to help us remember and rediscover the sounds that shaped Nashville. Now, it's come a long way from the Music Cafe Barn, the Lawless Cafe Barn, but we can't wait to see what's going to happen here next, in the next decade, as these walls go up and the roof goes up, and we connect with our future by honoring our past and by conveying with the truth of our music the very quality of our existence. This is culture, and this is why I think Nashville is so attractive to so many people coming here, is we have an authentic soul that we're willing to share. We can't lose it. We have to preserve it. We have to honor it. We have to use it. It'll be a challenge in the future, but that is the challenge of growth, and it is also an opportunity. But with partners like Roots and this barn, we're doing it, and we are going to be able to build just an incredible future going forward. And even better, we're going to be a city that our children and grandchildren are going to thank us for. And they're going to thank us in part when they come here in the evening and listen to live music that honors our past. So thank you all very much. I'm grateful to be here. And then I would like to welcome to the stage our great representatives, Bill Beck and Vincent Dixie, who have done so much for our community at the state. That's a hard line. Emily and Nancy, I think will agree, that's a hard line of work too some days, but they get it done for us every day. So thank you all very much.
Good morning. Oh, this isn't the Bellmead Country Club. Let's do a little better than that. Good morning. There we go. That's how we do it in Madison. I want to welcome everyone first and foremost. I want to take a personal privilege and say that the Madison Station Boulevard, the community has been working on that for over 30 years to bring, and the Mayor Cooper and Nancy Van Rees have brought that to fruition, and we want to thank you from the community, from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. Thank you. It's an amazing thing. And welcome to State House District 51. If you go 100 yards west, you're in Chairman Vincent Dixie's district, so that's how the lines are drawn. But we want to welcome everyone this morning. Vincent, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Thank you, and I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you for inviting me to come here and say a few words. I wasn't born, but I'm a bred Madison boy. I grew up in Madison all my life, went to Hunter's Lane, and went to Jerry Baxter. Quick story is that everyone who knows me know I love to talk about my mother, and she passed in 2018, but she worked for AT&T. And my mom never drove, so I would have to drive her to work once I got my driver's license. But this is the building that she worked in for over 20 years, right next door. So how special is this for me to be able to come here and be a part of this today? So thank you, Kathy, for facilitating this and being a part of this. And I know a lot of blood, sweat, tears, a roller coaster of emotions went to everyone to getting us to this point. So I want to thank everyone that's been involved, and thank you so much for being here.
Hey, John, would you come up be with us? Where's John? There he is. John, this dream of yours is coming to fruition, and we're just so excited. And it's not only been seen by the local community, but it's also been acknowledged by our state and House of Representatives Joint Resolution number 611, a resolution to recognize and congratulate Music City Roots and the Roots Barn, whereas it is a privilege of the members of the General Assembly to commend those exemplary institutions devoted to fostering and promoting roots music, whereas since October 2009, Music City Roots has featured the best in Americana, roots, and the bluegrass music, becoming a nationally admired multimedia platform for outstanding and diverse music while tying Nashville heritage and American traditions to the global conversation. Whereas the weekly live variety show, which is broadcast as a national syndicated radio program featured as a podcast, achieved on the Music City Roots YouTube channel and shown on the American Public Television Network, was originally held at Loveless Cafe Barn event and then moved to the factory in Franklin in 2014. And whereas Music City Roots left Franklin 3 years later with the intention of moving into a new facility, since that time it has been held occasional showcases and tribute concerts at other local venues, including City Winery, Nashville Palace, but otherwise has remained on a hiatus.
Whereas soon Music City Roots will have its first ever dedicated venue, the Roots Barn, located in Madison, which sits immediately north of East Nashville and has been the home of numerous country music legends, including Kitty Wells, Johnny Wright, John Hartford, Earl Scruggs, Bill Monroe, June Carter, and Hank Snow. And whereas the venue made possible through a partnership with Discover Madison Incorporated is located at the historic Amqui Station and has planned seating for 750 and a capacity of more than 1,000. Lofty goals, but this is just the beginning. Go big or go home, right? Well, I felt y'all were getting a little bored out there. I thought I'd throw something out there and see if everybody was awake here. Whereas Music City Roots will continue to broadcast on WMOT Roots Radio 89.5 FM as Music City Roots, live from Madison Station, with plans for a remote studio to be located in the Roots Barn. And whereas since 2009, Music City Roots has been a beloved staple of Greater Nashville's music scene, a haven for diverse, exceptional talent, and a devoted steward of American roots music traditions. And whereas this General Assembly finds it appropriate to pause in its deliberations to acknowledge and applaud the Music City Roots for its many contributions to music in the state, and now, therefore,
be it resolved by the House of Representatives 112th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, the Senate concurring, that hereby recognizes and commends Music City Roots as it enters into an exciting phase of its history with the establishment of the Roots Barn, extending our best wishes for its continued success. Signed, Speaker of the House, Speaker of the Senate, Governor, and myself. Thank you, John. Thank you, team. We're so excited to have you, and we appreciate you guys.
Wow. Okay, so we can't possibly have this ceremony without acknowledging the amazing architecture and the care that has gone into building this building, and the 100-year-old timbers that have been sourced, and just the complete devotion to authenticity. I'd like us to just have a word with our good friend and one of the owners of Centric Architecture in Nashville, my good friend, Justin Lowe.
There is certainly one person on this stage who does not belong with this distinguished cast of characters. That would be me right here. You're looking at him. And I realize nobody really wants to hear from architects because we're typically really long-winded and arrogant, and we make up words and then we act like it's your fault that you don't know what we're talking about. So I'll try to keep it brief, but the brevity's not always my strong suit. But this project's been a long time coming, and we've been working with John and Lori and the Roots team going back to 2017 in a previous project, and that was actually, as John would say, his second time down the aisle with a project that didn't work out for various reasons. It wasn't the right fit. And so in 2019, when John called and said, "Hey man, we got a new idea. We're going to build a barn in Madison." I'm like, at first I was like, "What?" So maybe a little skeptical until the vision really started to unfold, and then by the end of our first conversation, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. It's like, yeah, of course it's got to be a barn, and it's got to be in Madison. It couldn't be anywhere else. It couldn't be anything. I mean, everything just made sense. So we're on board. And what really set this building apart, as Mayor Cooper alluded to, is that there weren't corporate entities to appease or partners who had different sort of vision. This wasn't an existing building that we were trying to put a music venue into along with a bunch of other things. This was a solely built building all around music and a chance to do something and do it right. And I hope you're able to see that when this is all complete. So it's all about the music, and that's where my personal story sort of kicks in here. Those of you who know me, I'm a recovering musician myself. Played in bands all through high school until the point where it was way beyond where it made sense to keep playing in bands, but we were still trying. I went to architecture school as sort of to buy some time until my music career took off, so I'm still sort of waiting on that to happen. And my thesis project in school was actually a live music venue and recording studio. And so to work on a project like this is really sort of a dream gig for me as an architect. But more so than that, I, like Representative Dixie, I'm a native of Madison. So I grew up on Neely's Bend, 3 miles away from here. My mom still lives in that house. I went to Good Pasture up the road. I used to eat pizza at Sir Pizza. I used to get my prom tuxedos from Streets Tuxedo. I saw Karate Kid twice in this Madison movie theater over here. So like this was my life for a long time, this part of town. And so to be able to work on a music venue in Madison is like this cosmic coincidence sort of project that I still can't believe I'm a part of. So I want to say thank you to John for bringing me along on this journey. Anyone who's sort of not, and I should say also, I'm excited to be working on and seeing all the working on some projects and seeing all the momentum that Madison has on what I think Nancy Van Rees is. There's no greater champion, as we've discussed, and she deserves to be recognized once again for everything she's doing for this district. So anyone, I said, I called this a journey. Anyone who doesn't, isn't in this profession may not realize what a journey a project is like this. And I don't kid anyone. John didn't hire me. He really didn't care about getting me when he called us about the second time to work with him. He wanted my team. He wanted Daly and Maggie and Adam Smith, Daly Smith, Maggie Scott, Adam Smith. They did all the legwork here. Daly and Maggie, have a relationship with the Roots team going back now for 5 years. So we built a really incredible rapport, and we're glad to keep working on that. I want to acknowledge Mary John Blevins, who I think is here. She actually was initially the concept of this barn, and sort of the plan came to us through John, through Mary John, and really she was pretty fresh, I think, out of grad school at the time, but we were kind of blown away with the concept, and we've stayed pretty true to it. If you look at those initial sketches, that this is a very fitting sort of, evolution of that. So, want to say thanks to Fred, Duncan, Patrick, and the Kennedy family for their support. They're really making this happen and really consistently pushing this to not just be great, but be the best project. And I really appreciate that. We don't often get that. It's not always about the bottom line with them. It's about making the right place. Typical, I should say, Temple Bowling, Marshall Johnson with Liberty Construction Services. They're the general contractor. They've been an absolute dream to work with so far, and we're excited about continuing this and many projects with them in the future. So Daley Smith reminds me often that this isn't a normal project. A typical, architectural project, we may have half a dozen consultants or so involved that we're working with. I think on this one, I think Daley totaled it up at one point. It was 16 or 18 different, specialty consultants that are involved, and I'm sure I'll forget, some of the names or won't mention them all here, but want to acknowledge that when you're dealing with a live music venue, there's a lot of AV infrastructure that goes into that. But then layered on top of that, this is a reclaimed heavy timber barn. These timbers have been harvested from warehouses and barns across the country, and needless to say, this isn't something we do every day. We don't design these sort of buildings, so this is exciting to be a part of it. So Big Timber Works out of Bozeman, Montana, they did the timber providing and installing the timber frame. STE Engineering is their timber engineering. Will Marth and Gary Hawkins with Hawkins Partners, our landscape architects, Barry Cleveland and TTL Engineering, PWP Engineering, Shelton Engineering, Parsons Engineering, Dykes Food Service, Bandit Lighting, Sound Image, AVLX, Visual Terrain, and Tim Oldham, who is an English craftsman, artist, furniture maker, and designer extraordinaire who continues to work on refining these details with us as we make this project really sing. And I'm sure I've missed others along there, but in closing, one of the things I'm most proud about this project is the attention to detail and authenticity, as John sort of said. Even now as we continue to refine with the ownership team, these fine-tuning the details, the transparency and consistency of the theme and the brand and the authenticity of the construction details has been one of the most rewarding parts of this project. And so when it's all said and done, I can't wait to walk through here proudly with a beer in my hand and point out all the stories and the history embedded in these timbers, and know that the century of legacy that was the foundation for this concept and this project will be the legacy for the next century to come. So congrats and thanks to everyone involved in this really cool project. I'm just excited to be a part of it. So.
Roots music, Americana music, I want us to hear from a man who has given his blood, sweat, and tears over many years to establish an identity and recognition and a place for that very music. He's the executive director of the Americana Music Association, and my friend Jed Hilly.
Hey everybody. So I didn't bring notes because Rodney Crowell said to me, if you want to let people know how you really feel, don't read notes. Just speak from the heart. So I'll try to do that. For starters, I'm looking at these incredible beams, and kudos to your work. This is a beautiful structure as is. And I see these beams, and I see these pillars, and I see pillars from our community. I see the McCrary sisters, God bless you. I see Jim Lauderdale. I see Sam Bush out here, Fats Kaplan, Webb Wilder. These are the people who helped me build the Americana Music Association, because it takes a village, it takes a community. And that's what we're doing here today. We are extending the community. When I first met John, where are you, 2009 or 8, he came to my office over in Berry Hill and had this idea for Music City Roots, and I supported it, but I didn't put my name on it. I was a little skeptical, because I get to live with a lot of people who are passionate, and that's a thrilling experience that I get to have every day in my job. But where passion meets perseverance, that's what makes a difference. And over the years, you guys John, Lori, Ashley, Jean, Craig, you guys have demonstrated perseverance, and the fruition of your work is here today. Just one other little story. When I was approached by the board of the Americana Music Association in the fall of 2006, they had given me a list of names of artists who would embody Americana, and they'd give me a job description, and I was working for Mrs. Orbison, running the estate of Roy Orbison at the time, and I didn't know what they were talking about. I didn't know what Americana was. And I went to my dad to say, do you think I should take this job? They're offering me half the money. I don't know what it is. And he said, well, it's a word in the dictionary. I was like, oh. So we pulled out our Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary and we looked it up, and sure enough, that which is intrinsically American was in the dictionary. But we looked up rock and roll and they had a definition. We looked up country and they had a definition. We looked up jazz and they had a definition. Dad looked at me and said I wouldn't take the job, and he walked into the kitchen. So being a good son, I took the job. And on my first week on the job, I sent a note to info@merriam-webster.com. And a week later, I got a note back from a woman named Anna Bello in Springfield, Massachusetts, saying, thank you for your note. Please don't write again. Since 1848, Merriam-Webster's has diligently reviewed all of the words in our vernacular, from various media sources to periodicals to whatever, words that were in our vernacular. And it's not a word in our vernacular. Thank you for writing. Sincerely, Anna Bello, editor, Merriam-Webster's. So I put a little mark in my Outlook calendar to write Anna Bello in 3 months. And every 3 months thereafter. And in the summer of, that was in March of 2007, and in the summer of 2011, phone rang, and Whitney Holmes, who was working in our office, came in and she said, Jed, there's somebody on the phone from Merriam-Webster's dictionary. 4 years later, the managing editor of Merriam-Webster's dictionary called and he said, Jed, I thought you should be the first to know that Americana will be in the 10th annual Collegiate Dictionary. So I give Merriam-Webster and their crew of word deciders. Oh, I'll just make one other thing. Washington Post headline: tweet, Americana and cougar make list of new words. Nice, right? So anyway, I was thrilled. We made a T-shirt. Merriam-Webster gave me a gratis license to write Americana, sort of like you would see in the dictionary with Americana. And on the back we wrote, Merriam-Webster, look it up, because I was tired of answering the question. So thrilled to be part of something that now lives in the dictionary. John, you've now built something that puts us on the map. From the soul, I thank you. God bless you all.
So listen, all the words that have been spoken today, it's really clear. Anyone that knows the history of Music City knows that radio is what made it happen. That signal, they didn't even realize back in 1925 that signal was going to bounce off the ionosphere at night and to cover 2/3 of North America. On the right night, they've even got pins in the engineering room where it shows up in Greenland. But everybody, there were other barn dances. Of course, it was originally called the Saturday Barn Dance, and it got dubbed the Grand Ole Opry in a great ad lib like Keith and Jim are so fond of doing. But it's about radio, and they came from the Maritimes. They came from New Mexico. They came from everywhere because they wanted to be on the radio and play music That's why there's so many dang good guitar players around here. It's just humbling because the DNA is just so rich in musical talent. And so when we started the show, of course, we started at WSM, but what we really wanted, woo-woo, I like that, all aboard. What we really wanted was a radio station that would embrace the Americana format and to really help define it and have that conversation musically with the public. Of course, Jesse Scott, legendary program director that really was one of the architects of Americana music and what it means on radio, joined forces with us. And the rest is history, and we're really honored that Roots Radio and our partner, WMOT 89.5, Roots Radio out of Murfreesboro, and now building a remote studio right here on this campus. You really saw fit to honor us and partner with us in that endeavor, and we'll never forget that, and we're changing the world, man. And so, welcome my friend and the executive director of that station, Val Hepner.
So if you haven't heard, WMOT is an American Roots radio station, but we're of, by, and for the people. We're one of only a few around the country, and we are the only one in Middle Tennessee. We broadcast over 100,000 watts of power from the campus of Middle Tennessee State University on a signal that covers Middle Tennessee like a blanket, north to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and south to the Alabama border. WMOT embraces the same spirit of community and music discovery as our Roots Barn and Music City Roots partners. I'm thrilled to be a part of the Roots Barn family, and I congratulate John and the entire team on this first big step toward completing their dream to honor the music, artists, and especially the architects of Americana music. The little white building behind this beautiful barn may not look like much today, but soon it will become the second home of WMOT. WMOT's Roots Radio Studio will open in the spring with a space for live radio, in-studio performances, and work that provides internships for our MTSU students. The studio and our presence on the Roots Barn campus is an important part of fulfilling our public radio mission to follow the interests of our listeners, to support artists, and build community. So I thank the Kennedy family, I thank John Walker and the team, and I thank Dean of the College of Media and Entertainment, Beverly Keel, for making the WMOT studio and our presence here on this Roots Barn campus a possibility. Of, by, and for the people, 89.5, be listening.
Hey everybody, we're winding down here. One more person to talk, and that's me. I'm Craig Havikhurst, my co-host, writer, and producer on Music City Roots since the beginning. Very proud of that. I get called the historian and the scribe and the journalist, and I'm just honored that they would even, that the guys wanted to chronicle the story and to really mostly tell the story of the artists. And this week only, I'm the official Music City Roots motorsports correspondent as well. So ask me anything. In June of 2001, I was reporting for the Tennessean, and I had the honor and responsibility of covering the funeral of the great roots musician and songwriter John Hartford. The luminaries of bluegrass were there, gathered in the yard of his home on Falls Avenue, the house with the famous riverboat pilot house on the roof overlooking the Cumberland River. A few years later, I attended picking parties at a cluster of old lodges on Fernbank, just steps away from Hartford's place, a little complex that became known as the Bluegrass Compound because over the years it's been home to members of the infamous String Dusters, the Grascals, the Sidemen, and several other bands. More recently, I visited guitar icon Wayne Moss at his studio, Cinderella Sound, an independent studio operating in Nashville since 1960. All that was a mile or less from where we stand here today. And while I thought for years I was reporting on chapters from Nashville's music history, it dawned on me over time that I was experiencing something with an even more specific sense of place, the musical history of Madison, Tennessee. Now, as Music City Roots joins the Madison community in that line of history, we have all studied up on just how rich and deep that music legacy is. Maybelle Carter, founding mother of country music, lived here, as did some of her daughters and family. Ring of Fire was written by June Carter Cash and Merle Kilgore in her house. We're excited that Music City Roots co-founder Todd Mayo is taking care of that home today. Kitty Wells, the first female superstar in country, and Johnny Wright, her husband of 73 years, lived and died here. We look forward to a park in their names right over there someday soon. Other legendary singers and songwriters called Madison home: Loretta Lynn, Roger Miller, Jim Reeves, and the great and tragic Patsy Cline and Keith Whitley. The three founding geniuses of bluegrass, Bill Monroe, Lester Flatt, and Earl Scruggs, all had homes here. And we're always saying about Nashville, it ain't just country music, right? James Brown recorded some of his best-known tracks at Starday King Studio, a hub of country, bluegrass, and soul music in the 1960s, and efforts are underway to try to restore that important structure on Dickerson Pike. It's also told that bluesmen, Blind Willie Johnson, It is also said that bluesman Blind Willie Johnson and Opry star DeFord Bailey spent time up here too. It wasn't just the A-listers, but the A-team as well. Some of the greatest studio musicians of all time had Madison addresses. Lloyd Green, Floyd Kramer, Hank Garland, Harold Bradley, Kenny Buttrey, Jerry Kennedy, Bob Moore, and Lightning Chance among them. These are just the highlights, and we are working toward a national stature exhibit that tells Madison's music story in the Amqui Station Museum, so watch for that. But today, we are looking up and around at a world-class music venue in the making that will take its place in the Madison community and the Madison story. We intend to not only add to that history, but to take care of it as well. Now we're about to have some music. Anybody out there who plays, who wants to be a part of the pick-in for working on a building, come up now, it's your time. And after a performance, lunch is served over there, and the way there is the gravel pathway out and around and behind the station, easy to find. Now, let me turn you back over briefly to my good friend and colleague, Keith Bilbrey. Keith. Yeah.
Let's have a big hand for all our speakers today. I have learned a lot. I thought I knew it all, but it come to find out I didn't. Oh, this is such a great event. And we've mentioned a lot of folks who lived in Madison. One thing that I was just sitting here thinking about that I failed to mention, just over that hill was a little stucco building, and that was the office and home of Colonel Tom Parker. And Elvis Presley spent a lot of time there when he would come in from Memphis. I remember Gordon Stoker of the Jordanaires telling me one particular incident. He wanted to go to the Grand Ole Opry. It was Saturday afternoon. Nothing was open. He needed something special to wear to the Opry. So some gentleman that Colonel Tom knew down in the arcade came in on Saturday afternoon and outfitted him in a tuxedo. You may have seen, it's very historic pictures of Elvis at the Ryman Auditorium at the Opry in his tuxedo. You want to know what happened to that tuxedo? Elvis came back out here. He was on his motorcycle, by the way. Couldn't wear a tuxedo on his motorcycle, so he just took the tux off, put his motorcycle clothes back on, and dumped that tuxedo in a garbage can at Colonel Tom's. Gordon Stoker said, "I've never wanted to go through the garbage and get that tuxedo so bad in my life, but I didn't want anybody to think I was funny for Elvis, so he didn't." And who knows where that tuxedo is today, but so many stories, so much history in Madison, Tennessee, and I'm so glad to see it being finally recognized. Well, as I mentioned, we're going to have a big jam. Jim, are you taking part in this? I certainly hope so. We got some fiddles on the way I see over there, and Sam Bush, where are you? Can't do this without Sam. At least stand. Yeah, oh, that's okay. Steal the podium. I don't care. I'm wearing pants, unlike some of my conversations during the pandemic. They're going to see me from here up here. What do you care? So I guess we're going to all gather on stage, do a little jamming, work on a building, and thank you all for coming. This has been a great, great thing.
I see some other singers out there too, Elizabeth, hint, hint. So I want to invite anybody up that feels like singing along to this great gospel song. And please sing along on the chorus. The chorus is just, I'm working on a building, I'm working on a building, I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord. And we're going to get a building for Mr. Keith Bilbrey and Emmy Joe underway soon, too. And we're so glad they're here. If I wasn't singing, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd start my singing, Lord, and work on a building too. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord. Say a little bit right here. Yeah.
Now if I was a drinker, I'd tell you what I would do. I'd quit my drinking and I'd work on the building too. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord.
Well, if I was a preacher, I'm gonna tell you what I would do. I'd lay off that preaching and work on a building too.
If I was a sinner, I'd stop all my sinning. I keep stopping. Oh, I gotta work on my building. Gotta work on my building.
work on a building too. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord. We're gonna build this building.
You know my friend Jeff Black is my dad, really handsome.
Hey, folks, lunch is served next door. There's a path back here to get over there safely.
let me just say congratulations again to everybody who's been working so hard to make this venue happen. It's incredible. I've watched every stick, everything that can be seen from Gallatin Road. I see it every day because I live in East Nashville, in the middle of East Nashville, and I've been renovating this house in Neely's Bend. So I drive every single day, and I keep craning my neck to see what's going on over there behind the Hardys. And the rumors were there that the road was going to connect and it was going to be the Music City Roots venue. The rumors have been there for a while, so to actually see it go up, I just can only imagine how much work it was. Congratulations. So happy to have this here in our community, my community. It's like the moment I've been waiting for as a Madison resident, basically, as a Madisonian. And we'll wrap it up with some tunes here. I know that my friend Kyshona Armstrong is going to play at some point this afternoon, perhaps right after this. She's completely amazing. I know that Bronwyn played and some other people played this morning. I'm just so honored to have been asked and thought of as a musician. And so once again, please welcome the new girl to town, all the way from, just moved here from Seattle, Washington. She has a band called The Onlys. She graduated from Whitman College. She's been sanding a vaulted ceiling for the past, for like the last 3 days, and somehow dusted herself off and got this fiddle out to play her first gig in Nashville, Tennessee. Sammy Brayman. A person I've known for a long time, love playing tunes with. And right here, no stranger to playing in Nashville, an incredible fiddle and banjo player. You should check out her band Hawktail if you haven't already, an award-winning instrumental quartet. And it was also played with the Dave Rawlings Machine, was a part of the Live From Here house band for years. This basically, she's the old-time fiddler you call when somebody says, "Can you play some tunes here?" And she's my dear friend. She also just graduated with she's a master's in social work. She's starting to teach music at ETSU soon, and she killed a groundhog yesterday. She wanted everyone to know she didn't kill it. She trapped it. That's an important clarification. Thank you, Brittany. All right, Brittany Haas, ladies and gentlemen. What did you do with the groundhog after you trapped it?
I moved it across town to Beeman Park.
To someone else's yard.
Hopefully it'll just feast on the forest.
Nice. Okay, good. That's amazing. Okay, that's better. It's a better story. My name is KristIn Andreassen. I have played with old-time ensembles such as Uncle Earl. I write songs as well, and I recently released an album that was co-written with a child psychiatrist. It's all songs about mental health issues. They're intended for children. The record features amazing guest artists that are Nashville people also, like Warren Treaty and Chris Eldridge and all kinds of other people. So if you have kids or mental health issues, when I come talk about that record, I'd love to speak with you about it. And here's two.
We're about 2 minutes from going live here. Yay.
Cody Kilby, this is good.
I want to thank KristIn Andreassen. Y'all, so sweet having music while we're eating, and the food is amazing. Barbecue is my favorite flavor. Good afternoon. We are live on the platform of Amqui Station in Madison, Tennessee for WMOT Roots Radio and Jesse Scott. And it's so amazing to be here today. And yes, we are interrupting regular programming to bring you a special event that actually started a couple of hours ago as the Music City Roots barn raising is underway. Of course, there's a new facility being built here in Madison, and in an effort to continue to build community, we gathered a lot of folks together, including the mayor, who gave a lovely speech about the incredible history of Madison musically, and we are so honored and thrilled to be part of it today here again on the platform. The train tracks are right behind us. We may be graced with a train. We've had music all day, and it is my express honor to bring you a set live on the radio. Please welcome Kyshona Armstrong.
Thank you so much. We are honored to be here ourselves. We're happy to be on land that will be a place where people come to truly listen. A place where people will come to hear stories, be moved, and move people. The song is called Listen.
But you ain't got to speak it. Why don't you listen? Why won't you listen? Why don't you listen? and say that our struggles the same. Don't lie and tell me you're ready for change. Why don't you listen? Why won't you listen? Why won't you listen? Why won't you listen? Why don't you listen? Why won't you listen? Why don't you listen? Why don't you Subway, waiting for your love to change. Second guessing the choices that you made. How you gonna keep on keeping on? When you feel beaten down and your money's all gone. How you keep on keeping on, keeping on. Sure it's too much. Hold on, your love is about to change. Sure it's too much. You got more faith before you break. Sure it's too much. All the signs are telling me that I'm running out of time. Gotta tell you, this weight is too much, too much, too much. Ooh, it's too much, yeah, too much, too much. And I want for so yeah, yes. Oh, there's so many times you can play to me empty rooms. How you gonna keep on keeping on when you feel beaten down and your money's all gone? How you keep on keeping on, keeping on? Sure it's too much. Hold on, your love is about to change. Sure it's too much. You got more fear before you break. Sure it's too much, and all the signs are telling me that I'm running out of time. I gotta tell you, this weight is too believe that I'm running out of time. I gotta tell you, this weight is too much, too much, too much. Too much, too much. Too much. Thank you all so much. I'm honored to be on the stage with my friends, able to make a joyful noise again. This is a new one I wrote with my buddy Micah Dalton back in Atlanta. This is called Cleft of the Rock. Just gonna rest our bones in the cleft of the rock. Keep on marching on. No, we ain't gonna go. Just gonna rest our bones in the cleft of the rock. Keep on marching on. Down in the soil, deep down in the water, there's a crack that's breaking glass. We can't bend it all alone. Come along, you weary. Gather around, you strong. Bring a voice to peace, where love can be our song. No, we ain't gonna go. Gonna rest our bones in the depth of the rock. Keep on marching on. No, we ain't gonna go. Gonna rest our bones in the depth of the rock. Keep on marching on. Higher and higher, up the rough side of this mountain. Oh, we will not say a word, no, till we get to the other side. No, we ain't gonna go. Gonna rest our bones in the cleft of the rock. Keep on marching on. No, we ain't gonna go. No, gonna rest our bones in the cleft of the rock. Keep on marching on. One by one, hands behind, reach that strongest heart, pull us through. Down in the depth of the rock, we're gonna make this a mountain move. No, we ain't gonna go. Rest our bones in the depth of the rock. Keep on marching on. No, we ain't gonna go. Rest our bones in the depth of the rock. Keep on marching on. Keep on marching. Keep on marching. Keep on marching on. 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 Thank you all so much. It's an honor to stand between these two ladies that you just heard singing on the song. To my left, I have Nikki Conley, Nashville, Bronwyn. And to my right, I have Maureen Murphy, all the way from Compton. Yes, she's a Northern lady.
My name is Kyshona, and we're going to do one that I wrote with Maureen and our friend Jen Bostic. This is a little reminder that no matter how much we get frustrated with our neighbors, we must remember that we all hurt. We've all been through a lot. We're all just trying to get through day by day. And if I could get a little bit more guitar in my monitor, that would be awesome. You can blame it on religion. You can blame it on the president. Blame it on the way that we were raised on. Blame it on the government. You can be angry at each other, always pointing fingers. We could use every excuse, it's so easy to do. Sisters and brothers, when we gonna come together? We're fallen people, living in a fallen world. We're fallen people, people who hurt. We've all had a moment. We've all fallen a little short. Is there something you wish you could take back? Something you're fighting for? Look down the street, someone's in need. Guns and bombs are going on. Tell me what's it all for? Sisters and brothers, when we gonna come, when we gonna come together? We're fallen people, living in a fallen world. Ooh. We're fallen people, people who hurt. Judging at the first, we haven't read the whole. The only place to start is to love them where you are. We're fallen
Good with these lockouts on.
people,
You gonna come in there?
living in a fallen world.
Maybe 2 seconds.
Ooh, yeah. Fallen people, people who hurt. We're fallen people, living in a fallen world. We're fallen people, people who hurt. People who hurt. We're all just people who hurt. Thanks, y'all. I'm gonna let the band start this next one on our tune. I want to introduce you to them all. So, back here on drums, we have Ross holding it down. And then we have Ryan Medora on bass. Come on, Ryan. And Ellen Angelico on the git fiddle with the electric one. And I'm going to let them start this next one. This is a song I wrote with my brother Calvin Armstrong. We were just talking about we don't go after the things we know we're meant for. And we know it's because of this one little thing called fear. So we thought, why don't we write a song to it, but never say its name. Sometimes you gotta call it out.
Mm-hmm. that's holding you back. You gotta lay it down. Lay it down, don't bring it forward. Call it by his name. 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 Don't let it have control. Call it by his name. Oh, you don't have to be afraid. Call it by his name. Call it by his name. Call it by his name. Call it by. Ooh, call it by. Call it. 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 Y'all give it up for Nikki Conley and Maureen Murphy. Nothing I love more than hearing these two let loose. So last night we all got the pleasure of seeing Lisa Fisher play in town. I think we were all moved. We realized there's really something to being authentic on stage and being in your body. And I hope that's something that continues on here. The Music City Roots Barn, the Roots Barn. And we're going to play one. We're going to give the band a little bit of a break. And, speaking of roots, I'm originally from South Carolina. My grandpa's name was Hawthorne. Everybody called him HT. And Grandpa sang in the church choir. He actually led the church choir from the back pew often with just his right foot. His voice was so loud. And it wasn't until after he passed we realized that a lot of the songs he was leading in church, he actually wrote. And so after his passing, I thought, I want to write a song that Grandpa would be proud of. Let's write a song that maybe he would have written. This song happens. It's called Riverside. If I ever go, we'll take on down by the riverside. If I ever go, we'll take on down by the riverside. Yeah. The water girl with the hole in her heart. For the girl who stands alone in the dark. If I ever go, we'll trickle down by the riverside. If I ever go, we'll trickle down by the riverside. Yeah. You see me kneeling upon the stones. Just leave me grieving and all my bones. Yeah. To the river and the river it says, come in my waters, let me cleanse your head. If I ever go, we'll trickle down by that river side. I stepped in the water and that water
what's going in there.
The weather's always changing. It's sunny
I know
and it's
something weird with
raining.
that. We should have backed that out.
Daylight's always fading. Stars are moving fields.
This thing
People all around you, they only tell you what they want. Never know when all they're going through. You will all just listen out. Your bright arms is here. It's easy to live up and down. Yesterday's vows, today we already forgot. They'll be back again tomorrow. We'll be surprised at the end of every season. I'll fall down on my knees and start praying there's no reason. And somewhere in I know I fail myself from time to time. I will not surrender. I wanna try to be try. And I'm nervous of us spending my best to keep on living. Try to be try. I'm nervous of us shifting. We'll fight till before I'm living. I'm gonna try. I believe this is our last song. My name is Kyshona Armstrong, and I'm so happy to have my band here with me. Oh, thank you guys. Happy to have my band here with me, Ross Reynolds, Ryan Medora, Ellen Angelico, Maureen Murphy, Nikki Conley. Talk about trust. That is music. If only the rest of the world could operate the way a band does, I'll tell you what.
Oh. I don't know why it's not like that. That's all we need a little bit of sound effects about.
This is our anthem here. No matter how different you look, no matter how different we love, who we love, how we love. If you cut us deep, we all bleed the same. This is called Same Blood. Trying to wash his hands free of the
sing the, sing the. We all need to sing the, sing the, sing the. Every sins of our father's please. We learn how to hate and we learn what to fear. Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Can undo all the bad that's been done and put that bullet back in the gun. All you can do is try to love someone. Goodness sake, won't you love someone? We all need to sing good. We all need to sing good, sing good. We all need to sing good, sing good, sing good. Thank y'all so much. My name's Kyshona Armstrong. Have a good one.
Kyshona Armstrong for WMOT Roots Radio, as we are coming to you from what will be the Music City Roots Barn today, the barn raising event. They're set to open in February or March. We look spring 2022 for the opening, and WMOT is going to have a studio up here. We've been so excited to be with you today from this event and to be wrapped around by live music. It feels so good to have live music back in our lives. I do hope that you enjoyed this set, and more to come from Kyshona Armstrong. I just want to say that we are surrounded by some of the best music makers in the world here, and being able to amplify their voices with the radio station is such a lovely thing to be able to do. I'm Jessie Scott. I will see you back on the radio at 4 o'clock like normal today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being here in Madison, Tennessee at Amqui Station. Safe home.
Hang down.